All right, everybody, welcome to the video here for lesson number 10's homework assignment. So for lesson number 10, we learned how to solve a system. We learned how to go through, figure out whether or not that system had solutions, one solution, two solutions, etc. So let's take a look at a couple examples here from the homework. So for the first one, my linear equation 2x minus y equals 13. I want to make that equal to y. So I would start by adding y to the other side. So I have 2x is equal to y plus 13, and then subtract 13. Remember, we want the y to be positive if we can make it. It just makes everything easier. So then if I set these equal to each other, I have x squared minus 6x plus 3 is equal to 2x minus 13. Since it's quadratic, I want to make this equal to 0 so that I can try and either factor it or use the quadratic formula. So if we do that, we're going to get x squared minus 8 and plus 16 equals 0. So we're thinking what multiplies to make 16 but adds to make negative 8, and that's going to be negative 4 and negative 4. That's just factoring. I am not teaching factoring right now, right? So since both of those are the same factor, I'm only going to get one solution, and that solution is 4. Meaning this graph of this parabola and this line are going to have one point of intersection. If we then use x equals 4, and we plug into y equals 2x minus 13, so we say y equals 2 times 4 minus 13, we get a y value here of negative 5. So my solution is 4, negative 5. Now this says to graph it and sketch it to see what it looks like. So if you were to sketch this graph, right, use your graphing calculator to see what it looks like. I don't need to show you how to graph a parabola. You should have a parabola and you should have a line, and that point of intersection should be at 4, negative 5. That's what you should see on your graph. Number 2 says find the x values that are in the solution set for this system. Now here, since it just asks for x values, you don't have to find the y values. So let's set these equal to each other. X squared minus x minus 6 is equal to 3x minus 6. Subtract 3x and add 6. We'll get x squared minus 4x equals 0. GCF factoring, x minus 4 equals 0. So x equals 0 and x equals 4. Put in a solution set would probably look better. Notice for this one, I did not find the y values because they didn't want me to. Number 3 was similar to the last question we did in class. So here we have a linear function and a circle. So I'm going to start by taking the linear function x plus 2y equals 0 and solve it for either x or y. I know everything we did in class today, we solved for x. I'm sorry, we solved for y. In this one, I actually want to solve for x. Here's why. This is way easier to plug in than if I made it 1/2 or negative 1/2 for y. So what this tells me is x is the same as negative 2y. So wherever I see x, I'm going to put negative 2y. So my equation for this circle is going to become negative 2y minus 1 squared plus y minus 1 squared equals 5. So for both of these, I'm going to have to make some boxes and do some multiplying, right? So let's make some boxes and do some multiplying. Negative 2y and negative 1. That's going to give me 4y squared, 2y, and 1. And if I do another set of boxes for y minus 1, I'm going to get y squared minus y, and positive 1. So what do I have here? I have 4y squared plus 4y plus 1 plus y squared minus 2y plus 1 equals 5. Combine up all your like terms, we have 5y squared. I have plus 2y plus 2 equals 5. Subtract 5 to the other side. And now I have 5y squared plus 2y minus 3 equals 0. If you got that there, you're in really good shape. We just have to factor from this point. So what multiplies to make negative 15, but adds to make 2, that would be 5 and negative 3. So this is going to become 5y squared plus 5y minus 3y minus 3. Do your grouping, 5y, y plus 1, negative 3y plus 1. So we wind up getting the factors of y plus 1 and 5y minus 3 equals 0, which gives us answers for y of negative 1 and positive 3/5, or if you want the decimal version, 0.6. Now those are the y values. Let's find some x values. So x is equal to negative 2 times y, so x becomes 2. So this coordinate is 2, negative 1. Make sure you put the x first. X is equal to negative 2 times 3/5, so x is equal to negative 6/5, or if you like decimals better, negative 1.2. So your other point here is negative 6/5, comma, 3/5. I like fractions better, so I'll do fractions, but if you like the decimals, so be it. And that's your homework assignment. Hopefully that made sense. Hopefully you got a lot of that right by yourself, and I will see you all soon.